Hey everybody, what's going on? It's Hoover here back again. So, I want to talk to you guys today about something important, which is the importance of not caring or caring about what other people think. Basically, how other people's ideas influence the way you act, behave, think, things like that. Now, before I get started on it, I just want to let you know this is my own personal ideas on what I believe helped me become a better person and what I've done. And I'll provide examples as we go along as well as too, so that way you know exactly what, well, not exactly, but you know what I would be talking about, get an idea of what it is. So the importance of not caring about what others think is something that is highly debatable because it matters and it doesn't matter. So say for instance, it's like your boyfriend, your parents, somebody of the importance in the circle close to you. Those people do matter, and what they say does matter. And it can influence the way you think and how you act. But I think what we're missing here is the overall picture of what good does it do to you and to people around you. What are they saying that you think, oh, you know what, I don't agree with that, but what if we take a step back and say, let me analyze what they're saying about what I'm doing and whether or not that aligns with something that's good or bad or something that's going to hinder me or mess with me later on in the future, or how it will affect other people along the way as well too. So the pros of not caring, basically, you don't want to do things to impress other people. Don't impress people who don't matter. Say, for instance, your neighbor. The neighbor doesn't care, right? Not unless your neighbor happens to be your brother or someone that's positive influence. You don't want to care about people on the internet, online. You always get people that are just going to hate on you. Impress those that are positive role model, that are positive influence. Because if you can impress them, it means you're doing something good. Because if you look at people that have negative views and you do those things that attract them, say for instance you have a friend that's let's say a thug or gangster for whatever that matter, and you do those things like stand outside with your gun, and or you got your tattoos and stuff, standing outside with the appropriate the attire that a gangster would have, saggy clothes, all that stuff. They're gonna like that, right? But in reality, it's not a good thing. As opposed to your friend who, studied law, and say you make a video on a debate, about guns, pro and con, debate about guns. He's gonna be like, oh man, that's great. You're, looking at both the ideas, you're presenting information to the opposition, things like that. So those kinds of things you got to take into account for whether or not the influence is a positive influence or a negative influence. The other thing is, you can be independent of other people's negative ideas in a way that you don't have to go with what they say. So if they tell you, oh man, you know what, you should throw up some signs in there, or you know what, maybe you should, say for instance you're making a video about cats, maybe you should do something a little mischievous, push the cat over and make it fall down a 2-story building. It's like, no, like, that's not something you want to do because it causes harm. And it's like, you don't want to be that guy that, does something bad to something else. And obviously you can think for it and say, this is not a good choice, maybe I shouldn't do that because it causes harm onto something. In this case, the cat. The other thing is that misery loves company. People that talk bad about other things tend to have that idea about a lot of things, and the reason, or I would say most of the time they would have that, is not because they're just like that, it's because they have something negative about themselves that doesn't make them feel good. So in order to make themselves feel better, they talk trash about somebody else, make themselves feel better. Say for instance the guy makes $50K a year. Oh, that guy's not making anything. He's lazy. That guy doesn't do much. But then again, the guy talking about that has nothing going for him. Doesn't have a car, doesn't have a house, doesn't have a job. You know, saying, oh, that's those small numbers. You know, instead of saying, oh, you know what, good for him, he's doing great. You know, it's just misery loves company, and they will do just about anything to get people to talk negative about other people to make themselves feel better. Unfortunately, it does. It's not always the case, but for the most part, people usually do that for that reason, just to cover up their own insecurities. Now, the cons of not caring, there are a couple things that are not good when it comes to not caring. One of them is that if the world is shouting out to you, what are you doing? Don't do this. You know, most of the time, well, not most of the time, but sometimes it happens to be right. It's like, what are you doing? You know, if they tell you, I'm going to throw a bow and arrow right at the top of my cousin's head and I've never had practice. And you keep, you know, you do these dangerous stunts. People telling you like, dude, you have no experience, you're not professional. Stop doing this. You're going to get somebody hurt. Most of the time, you know, it's because they just don't want you to do something dumb that's going to cause someone to get hurt. Right? Now, it can't always be said for the people that love you. Sometimes, you know, the people that love you as well to tell you that. Now, if it's some, like I said, if it's a random stranger out there telling you something and you just hear it once, I would say just disregard it. But if it's your best friend or your mom or your dad or somebody that's close to you that is a good person, tells you like, hey, don't do that. You know, don't do that because you're going to get caught up. And I'm not saying only good people can tell you that either as well too. Good and bad people can tell you, you know, good things. Your thing to do is to decipher that, whether or not the situation is good for you or someone else, or whether it's bad or it brings some negative consequences to somebody else. The other thing about the cons of not caring is that we refuse to change for the better and unable to see the things from a different perspective. I've always said that the greatest thing in the world is to be able to look at things from different perspectives and to come to a conclusion to see what is the best perspective for this situation. Because we all have different views on everything, right? If I tell you jump off the bridge is say 20 feet off into the lake, whatever. From the guy's perspective, he's like, yeah, man, I'm gonna do this. This is great. Mom's perspective, you're gonna break your leg. What are you doing? You're gonna drown. Friend's perspective, oh man, this guy's hyped up. So if you're able to see it from different perspectives, you have a better understanding of the situation of what is going on here. Some things are not just good and bad. Some things are a mix of things. You know, it can be good because you have fun with your friends. It can be bad because you can get into an accident and end up in the hospital, right? So those kinds of situations, you gotta take them as at the time of, and how well are you capable of handling that situation yourself. You throw yourself down there, you're capable of swimming out. Are you capable of getting up off your feet and saying, yeah, that was great, let's do another one? Or you're not, and you're just doing it because everyone's hyping you up. So those situations you need to take into account for and not let your emotions get the best of you. Because believe me, emotions will get the best of you, and you're just going to go, screw it, and you just jump. And then, oh, there he goes. And where's Kevin? Oh, he didn't come back up. Like, oh, okay, let's go look for him because your homeboy's not doing too well underwater. The other thing is, if you don't care too much, you can't analyze the situation or the behavior, you know, what you're doing. You know, ask yourself, is this hurting me in the long run? Is this something that I can hurt with or I can hurt someone else with? What good can come from this? What actions will my negative concept, or what actions will what will come out of these actions, positive or negative? You know, basically just analyze the situation. If you're able to analyze the situation and say, oh, you know what, right now is not a good time, I'm not going to go ahead and talk to this person because he's drunk, belligerent, and if I talk to him, we're probably just going to get into a fight. Good call. You know, but if the guy's relaxed and calm, say, you know what, he looks calm, relaxed, he's really refreshed right now, he seems peaceful, you know what, let me talk to him about the situation and see what we could come up with a plan or something. So again, cons of not caring, you sometimes you got to listen to what the world tells you, And sometimes it's good to see other people's perspectives and take them into account. Don't just say, "Oh yeah, sure, yeah, they're just talking just because." Take it into account. Listen to what they're saying, analyze the information, interpret it, and look at it from a different point of view. And then ask yourself, is this something that I want to do that's good? Is this something that is going to do good for anybody else? You know? And of course, you know, the pros of it, you don't let people that don't care about you influence you. You do those things that are good for you, and you know, you're independent. You're not easily influenced, which is a good thing. That way you can think for yourself and not just have someone else telling you all these things and you just say, yeah, let's try it. You know, without continuously thinking about the situation and seeing whether that's a good or bad thing for you. And that's pretty much it, guys. Let me know down in the comments if there's anything you would like me to talk about or anything you'd want me to clarify on. I like doing these videos because I feel that sometimes it's good to have a different perspective, different view of people's ideas and things and how they interpret the world. So that way they can grasp more and have more information so they can make a better decision and become someone better in their life. And in doing so, I think will improve the quality of everybody else around themselves, including the one's own person. So yeah, let me know. Give me a thumbs up and I'll keep them coming and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.